Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
Not an anythinger. I don't have any talents.
Would you date someone that looks like me?
Bobbi Althoff was out here leveling up online, stacking millions of followers and pulling wild numbers on every single post. Every upload was hitting millions of views, and that spotlight turned into real cash, with reports saying she was making hundreds of thousands a year. From the outside, it looked like the perfect creator glow-up. Fast rise, viral waves, perfect timing. According to Bobbi, she grabbed that social media heat and flipped it straight into podcast power, using her fame as a launchpad instead of just a side hustle. She moved like she had a master plan from day one. But from episode 1, people were already side-eyeing the whole thing. Viewers kept saying something felt strange, like the doors to elite circles opened way too fast. She was suddenly linked to Drake, known online as the '69 God, and that raised eyebrows. Not long after, she was cracking jokes in public about Mark Cuban, and a lot of folks thought it crossed a line and felt unnecessary.
From D-list to A-list. That's my goal in 10 years.
From D-list to A-list.
Yes.
People online started asking, how does a brand new podcaster get access like that so fast? 1 minute she's new to the game, the next she's moving like a veteran with VIP passes. The jokes quickly turned into hard stares, and those stares turned into straight-up doubt.
Just like hard to imagine finding someone who is truly good for you. It's hard to imagine there's a world where there's like someone who's actually meant for you. Dating is just hard, you guys. Like,
yes, I did name my daughter Richard. I just always really loved the name Richard, and I wanted a boy, but I had a girl, and I decided to name her Richard.
What really pushed the rumors into overdrive was the business move behind the scenes.
Around like 250 to 300 a year.
1,000.
Yeah.
From brand deals on
brand
TikTok.
deals on TikTok.
Wow.
And 250 is great and all, but it's hard to come up with content with just me every day.
$250,000 a
Yeah.
year as an annual income is great and all.
Yes.
It is great.
It is
It's
great.
Within just 1 week of launching her podcast, Bobbi locked in representation with one of the most powerful talent agencies in entertainment. That same agency started stacking high-profile guests back-to-back. No slow grind, no quiet build-up phase, just instant big names and major cosigns. Now, when Drake of all people is publicly hinting that you're moving reckless as a parent, that's going to make people freeze and stare. That alone had the internet buzzing, and it got even messier because Drake himself was acting wild online. At one point, he was deep in Bobbi's Instagram comments, trying to get her to unblock his name, and a lot of people said it looked awkward and low-key desperate. Instead of looking powerful, the whole situation flipped and turned into a full-on spectacle. What was supposed to be a flex started feeling messy real fast. At the same time, viewers began noticing a pattern in her interviews. Even though she was still married back then, many early episodes had her steering the vibe into heavy flirt territory.
You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but
You do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this?
I
kind
know,
of
isn't that
planted?
crazy?
It feels a bit planty.
This is definitely
you got
like
you got
Luke.
here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
What I think industry plant is, it's like somebody that has been like that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections to capitalize, and they like have zero talent.
Excited that she made like at least 300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast.
She would ask guests questions that felt personal and crossed into uncomfortable space, and people were definitely side-eyeing it. Fans kept saying it was hard not to picture her husband seeing those clips later. Soon after the Drake episode went live, her husband officially filed for divorce. That timing had the internet talking even louder, adding more drama to rumors that were already spreading fast. From there, the story started spiraling fast. Gossip pages and comment sections were pushing the idea that Drake was her ticket into elite celebrity circles. None of that was ever confirmed. But once the internet grabs a storyline, it runs with it full speed.
And before people say, oh, he's probably divorcing her so he can get a piece of the money that she made from her very successful podcast, Corey's actually a senior vice president of a very successful company, and so they're both really successful people. And alongside with that, when he filed for divorce, he checked a box saying that he doesn't want alimony, meaning that neither of them have to pay one another after.
Soon after, she picked up a reputation for being in high-profile spaces non-stop. Ryan Garcia was openly flirting with her during appearances, acting like a kid with a crush right in front of everyone. Later, during an emotional rant on social media, he claimed they had been involved. That statement didn't clear anything up. It just made the rumors louder and messier. Clips also started circulating of Bobbi being escorted out of clubs while clearly intoxicated, and those moments definitely didn't help her image. Then came one of the most awkward chapters.
Would you say that you're easy?
Oh, like easy to get along with?
I mean, however you want to take it. You said yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I need to start having standards for myself.
You don't have standards?
I dated a girl in a wheelchair. Yeah. No, but I'm telling you, she walked out my life still.
Sorry to hear.
She tried to do a soft launch of a mystery man online, but internet detectives moved fast and identified him as an NFL player.
I flew all the way here
You did. I really do appreciate
on my
that.
daughter's first birthday.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
To
this.
be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
The problem? He quickly denied any relationship, leaving her looking exposed and embarrassed. That whole situation sparked an emotional spiral that played out publicly on TikTok, with viewers watching every second unfold. Now, fast forward to the present. Bobbi has now officially announced that her podcast is ending, and that caught some people off guard. She was still pulling solid numbers here and there, with certain episodes reaching hundreds of thousands of views. But when you stack that up against her peak era, when every single episode was clearing 1 million views and packed with major guests, the drop was hard to ignore. The guest list got smaller, solo episodes struggled to hold attention, and the hype just wasn't there anymore. The final send-off didn't feel like a victory lap. It felt more like a quiet goodbye to a moment that burned way too bright and way too fast. What's wild is that some people still acted confused about why the podcast lost its shine. Even with everything playing out in public, there were signs that someone behind the scenes was still investing in Bobbi's career up until last year. You could see the steady push to keep her relevant, to reshape the narrative, and to frame her as misunderstood instead of manufactured. Moves like that don't just happen by luck.
On what the comments are saying, and sometimes it's just constructive criticism. It can be a little mean, but yeah, it doesn't bother me too much.
That takes strategy, serious funding, and people who believe there's still money to be made in the long game. You could see it clearly in the press coverage. Business Insider and other outlets suddenly dropped soft interviews and glowing think pieces that felt perfectly timed. These weren't deep dives or tough sit-downs with real pressure. It was surface-level framing, carefully shaped to shift how people saw her.
Hi guys, welcome to the Really Good Podcast with your host, Bobbi Althoff.
Anyone who understands media knows that appearances like that are often part of strategic, mutually beneficial setups. The mission seemed simple: rebuild credibility and stretch the brand's lifespan long enough to pull more value from it. But as time went on, it started to feel like this whole journey was always about money and fame for Bobbi. She has openly said that even as a kid, her main goal was to be rich and well-known. There's nothing wrong with ambition, but it explains the moves she made. For her, fame wasn't something that just happened along the way.
I believe in my podcast, so I'm trying my best. I've had a few guests, some D-list celebrities.
It was the target from day one. That mindset influenced every interview, every collaboration, and every calculated step forward. On a bigger level, she reflects where social media culture has landed us, where attention is currency and clout can shape an entire career overnight. Platforms like Instagram have seriously twisted how people see themselves and how they think they're supposed to act.
Be on my podcast.
Why you keep saying that, Kevin? That shit, man. I honestly didn't even want to do this shit. I don't fucking do interviews. I'm fucking with you because they're making me. You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken. Just
Over the last few years especially, there's been a clear shift in how people show up online. Somewhere along the way, attention started getting treated like proof of importance. You'll see regular everyday users with a few hundred followers moving like they're untouchable celebrities, and it's wild to watch. It's not always confidence. A lot of the time, it's performance. People aren't necessarily more arrogant than before. They're just chasing validation harder than ever. Likes, views, and comments have replaced real feedback. Behavior that used to feel embarrassing or extra in the early social media days is now normal, and sometimes even rewarded.
only thing, you pull it off and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man.
You can leave now.
This is my hotel. I paid for this motherfucker. You can leave now.
Bobbi just became a high-profile example of that shift playing out in real time. To her credit, she did acknowledge the decline. She openly said she loves money, and that might have been one of the most honest moments she had left. Her final podcast episode was stacked with ads, almost back-to-back, and instead of feeling reflective or meaningful, it came off more like a cash-out move than a heartfelt goodbye.
She was a great podcast. She got me this house, got me the car I drive. She got me a lot of stuff, and she was really great. I really did appreciate her for the time I had with her. And she brought me a lot of memories and a lot of great guests. I will miss doing this podcast, and I will miss the money this podcast brought me. Hi guys, welcome to the Really Good Podcast. All jokes aside, all honesty, this is the last episode. In honor of the last episode, my sister and I are going to sing a song. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya?
She spent most of that final episode replaying old moments, old guests, old highlights, almost like she was clinging to past relevance. It felt like one of those recap episodes people usually skip because there's nothing new, just recycled clips stitched together again and again. She would play a snippet, jump to the next memory, and before you could even settle in, another ad would drop right in the middle of it. It barely felt like a real goodbye. It felt more like a checklist getting ticked off. No deep reflection, no raw conversation, just highlight after highlight with sponsor breaks stacked in between.
Started off just with a girl with a dream to make more money. And I knew when I started that it was going to go places. I didn't know I would fall off as quickly as I did. To be honest, I did think this was going to last a bit longer.
Honestly, it came across less like a finale and more like a setup for whatever move comes next, like she was clearing the runway instead of closing the chapter for good.
But nevertheless, it lasted a minute, and I'm proud of the accomplishments I have, and I'm pretty sad that it has to end like this, but it's okay. Just any final words?
She really fell off.
No, it happened. People said I was falling off, and they were right. So now it's dead. You guys got what you wished for. You wanted it to be over, it's over. It's gone. It's not there anymore.
That's what made the whole ending feel kind of hollow. It's also hard to believe someone who clearly enjoys high-profile rooms and social climbing would just walk away without a plan. That kind of access can be addictive once you get used to it. And the timing raised eyebrows too. The episode dropped on the very last day of July, loaded with sponsors from start to finish. Anyone familiar with brand deals knows those contracts usually have strict posting deadlines. And if you miss them, you could end up owing money back. This didn't feel like closure. It felt like someone checking off obligations and calling it a day. Realistically, it's hard to imagine many people sitting through that entire episode. Even longtime fans who once rode hard for the show were saying it dragged. The recycled clips, the non-stop ads, it killed whatever momentum was still alive. And if you scroll through the comments, the vibe is not celebratory at all. The reactions were split right down the middle. Some people were saying good riddance because they were tired of feeling like they were watching commercials instead of content. Others took it further and started criticizing her personal life, accusing her of picking fame over family. That's not the kind of energy you expect when someone is wrapping up a major chapter. So yeah, this really looks like the end of the Bobbi era, at least in podcast form. Honestly, she might have had more staying power and steadier income if she stuck with parody content instead of trying to force her way into the elite podcast lane. The whole situation feels like a reminder that moving too fast can burn you out quicker than playing it smart. Now I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you really think this was her decision? Or do you think people behind the scenes quietly pulled the plug once the numbers started slipping? When the views slowed down, did the support disappear too? Tell me what you think is really going on.